A lot of unanswered questions involving that massive chemical fire at a Newburgh manufacturing facility. That fire happened Saturday afternoon at PBTT on Van Road. Once on scene, firefighters learned there were hazardous chemicals outside the building on fire. So officials issued a shelter in place for the surrounding area. Around 12 hours later, crews reported the fire was out and the shelter in place was lifted. Fire crews and the EPA were out at the facility yesterday to assess both the damage and the harmful ash which was scattered around the community. Officials say the main chemicals involved in the fire were combustible metals such as magnesium, aluminum, and zinc. Fire officials say the chemicals released both in the air and in the ash debris scattered on the ground could be harmful to ingest or touch. Jamie French starts off our live team coverage after getting an update from Deaconess health leaders. So, Jamie, what do people in the area need to know to stay safe?
Yeah, Rob, just real quick, we are here at the site of PBTT. It's just over my shoulder here. And not a lot is going on, but I can tell you there are a couple of fire trucks still left out here, and we do see some people kind of conversing in the area, still working on investigating. But I do want to let you know that I spoke with Deaconess officials today, and they say they have seen an influx in calls into their emergency room with people in the area who are just concerned about their health from the chemicals released in this fire. Now, officials with Deaconess do say they have treated people mainly with underlying health conditions, people who already had things like asthma and COPD, where the smoke and the debris in the air just sort of exacerbated their conditions there. Dr. Matthew Gilbert with the Deaconess Emergency Department says people should be aware, though, of respiratory issues and also skin burns. Health department leaders are still determining just how hazardous the ash is from the fire, but they do say it is testing at a high pH level. Now, Dr. Gilbert says the high pH means these are caustic chemicals. Those can cause severe chemical burns and even tissue damage on your skin. Dr. Gilbert says if the ash touches your skin, you'll want to get it cleaned up as soon as possible. He says his ER staff is prepared for anything.
We always talk about it anytime there's an exposure like this. We make sure we have all our resources ready to go so we can take care of any sick patients. Deaconess is very involved with multiple fire departments. So we're constantly training with these teams, the hazmat teams, the firefighters, just to make sure that everyone's ready for this kind of thing.
Now, you sort of just want to use your best judgment if you were to come in contact with the ash, either breathe it in or it touches your skin. If it's a mild burn, Dr. Gilbert says you can just go to the urgent care. But if you're having severe trouble breathing, you'll want to seek care at the hospital. Call 911, visit the emergency room. Now, of course, we're going to have a lot more health tips coming up later tonight, but some other things of note as this investigation continues out here. We are very close to several Warwick County schools. So Warwick County schools are in session today, but school officials do say they sort of closed off their playgrounds. Students had to stay inside. They couldn't go outside for recess today, while officials with the EPA and health department are still investigating the area. There could be ash on the playgrounds. You know, they're looking into things like that. Also, a lot of questions that we're getting into our newsroom is questions about water and whether that's your drinking water or just water in the lakes and ponds nearby. So our Barbara Bellinger is digging into that, sort of getting some information. We do know that your drinking water in Warwick and Vanderburgh County is safe, but she's going to have more details later at 4:30. But for now, reporting live in Warwick County, Jamie French, 14 News.
Thank you, Jamie. Now, as far as what started the fire, we're told it is being investigated by the state fire marshal's office. We've reached out to the company, and the owner said he would be emailing us a statement, and we are still waiting on that.